Okay, so I was trying to explain Title IX, and basically, like, my status is a mandatory reporter. Um, so if somebody tells me about something that happens to them on campus, like a sexual harassment, a sexual assault or something like that, I don't have a choice. I have to report it, right? If you want to keep the power in your own hands, but still get like guidance and help, that is a possibility. Um, and you would have to go to the Lobo Respect Advocacy Center, and they have people who can talk to you about your situation without basically uh, having to report it, right? It would you would get their advice and their guidance, and they can explain the different types of um, resources that are available to you without taking it out of your hands, and you get to make the final decision still. So that is there for you. Next part is the citizenship and immigration status, which is basically that like all students are welcome in my class, and that your citizenship and immigration status makes no difference on your grade whatsoever. You can divulge that information to me, and it will stay confidential. If you don't want to divulge that information to me, that's also fine, right? You are welcome in my class no matter what. Um, and that is the end of that. Like, we at UNM has a commitment to all students, regardless of citizenship. So if you're in my class, you're in my class. Um, and you shouldn't have to worry about stuff like that. So, land acknowledgement, right? This is basically a section that just acknowledges that UNM is sitting on the homelands of the Pueblo of Sandia, and that the history and culture of UNM is inextricably bound to this place and to the original peoples of this location and this region, and it's important to recognize that. So, um, support and receiving help. There's all kinds of really cool resources available for you guys. We have mental health services in this time of COVID. I would suggest getting them if you have time. We have peer tutoring at CAPS, and I'll probably ask you guys to do that at some point. And then there's a student guide tab on my UNM that can then talk you through some of the different types of resources that we have available that are not those two, right? SHAC has online services, right? As well as an on-campus health center. So definitely go there. They have all kinds of really important things, and it makes getting medical help and health services like a lot easier as a student. And then UNM has policies to preserve and protect you and the academic community. And there's a link to the Student Pathfinder. These include policies and like student grievances, academic dishonesty, respectful campus, all this stuff, right? Um, they've made it really easy for you guys to navigate that. So you can just literally like click on these different links in the syllabus. Um, in terms of academic dishonesty, it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward, right? Don't cheat, don't plagiarize, um, be good to other students. um, but they also have they have like a support staff for people who are struggling to navigate these areas. And you can go to the student resource centers to get help with that. So your assignments are going to be multimodal ones, right? We're going to be doing websites, and I'm also going to have options for you guys to do like podcasts and YouTube videos, all kinds of stuff. So start thinking about sort of mediums that you're interested in and that you think that uh, would be useful for you to learn about. My Xbox game bar keeps going off, and I don't know how to turn it off right now, so I apologize. Um, what else do we have? So yeah, think really broadly about the types of formats that you would want to use. Like I've had students turn in papers as like tweet threads and stuff. So I mean, this is pretty broad. Um, you're going to be doing multiple drafts of everything, right? And we're gonna, if you do one paper in a tweet thread, then you'll want to do something else in a different medium for your next paper. So try to think about, all the different things you might want to do. Your first major paper is going to be a genre analysis. So you'll pick a specific text and then think about the genre that text is a part of, right? So like a genre would be like print advertisements, YouTube videos, podcasts, advertisements in specific magazines, advertisements that appear on Twitter, film trailers, right? There's like different sort of genre, like even though a film trailer and like a video advertising for like soap are approximately the same length, and they appear on TV, right? And they use a lot of the same technology. The genre conventions for those are completely different, right? The way that things are presented and the pacing and the colors and everything is much different. So that's how we're thinking about when we talk about genre and genre analysis. Your argumentative essay is a little bit more traditional, right? You're just taking, right, an issue or a text, right? And like think of text very broadly, like text could literally be a video game or, like a comic book or a picture or something. But and you're making an argument about it, and you'll be incorporating research to support that argument. And then a creative revision, which you will take your argumentative essay or your genre analysis and revise it in a creative way to either like change what you're saying or change the medium or change the genre or change some sort of like really fundamental part of your project to begin with and turn it into something new. Most of my students choose to change the medium, so they'll take like something that was originally an essay and turn it into a video or a song or a poem or something like that. And then all of this eventually will coalesce into a portfolio that we will be hosting on a website online. So next week, basically, we'll get started trying to like get you guys online and get you to choose a website platform and start thinking about the way that you want to structure your portfolio so that we can kind of be working on that as we go through the semester. So, and I have the options of Google Sites, Wix, or Weebly, but if you have other platforms that you like better, those are also possibilities. If you have trouble meeting deadlines, please contact me. It says at least a week before the project is due. If you can't give me that kind of heads up, still contact me. Like if you're having trouble keeping up, just let me know. Send me an email and we'll try to figure it out. So, and it also says that like the discussion boards, right? Those need to be done on time as much as humanly possible, unless you have like some sort of like emergency, like I was talking about earlier, right? Journals, we'll get into those later, but those are just going to be basically like proposals or brainstorming sessions that you do before your major writing assignments. Peer reviews, you will be having your peers read your work. So again, keep in mind that anything you write for the class, other people are going to read it, not just me. Final drafts, right? The final round will be, I'll give you feedback, and then when you turn in your final project, like in your portfolio, you'll have like made the feedback that I give you. So, and you also have to have reflections, but we'll get into that later. It's all pretty easy. So plagiarism, don't do it. If you're using someone else's ideas or someone else's words, just cite that person and then it's no longer plagiarism, right? Just say like, oh yeah, so-and-so says this or so-and-so thinks that. And then not only are you not plagiarizing, but you also look like you know what you're doing and you're well researched. So it's all positive on the non-plagiarism side. And these are all the different forms of plagiarism, but I don't have time to go over them one by one, and you guys can read that. And I think that you all pretty well know what plagiarism is. Okay. And the consequences for plagiarism are heinous, and you may also end up with like a note on your record that says like the student plagiarized, and then that's going to follow you around forever. So just don't do it. This is the allocation, like the point allocation and grading scale. This tells you how your points are going to line up for the class. Okay, you'll see discussion board posts are actually a pretty big part of your grade, so do them. And discussion board responses are also actually a pretty big part of your grade. So do that. I'm gonna actually go out on a limb and suggest that you do all of your assignments throughout the whole semester, um, because all of these points actually like do make a difference in the long run. And I know like 20 points here or there or whatever doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but at the end of the semester when you need it and you have decided that you really want an A, then you're going to be like, damn, I wish I did that library tutorial. So just try to get your assignments done, and if you're having trouble, let me know. And again, like this class is completely online, so I'm going to be reliant on you in some ways to contact me if you're having issues, because I can't harass you in class about whether or not you fully understand everything, and I can't, like walk you guys through things the way I would in a classroom. So if you're having trouble, you got to reach out and be like, man, I really don't understand this. Can you help me? And that's perfect. Please do. Like, I'm never upset with you guys contacting me with questions. So the last thing, I think, yeah. So considering we didn't get through everything today, I'll probably be posting another video for Wednesday that I want you guys to watch, that'll walk you through what you guys have to do for Wednesday and all the different types of software. And there is a lot of software that I am going to have you guys either downloading or signing up for to make this class a little bit more streamlined. So for now, if you have issues, send me an email, okay, and get that introduction post written. Right, so I'll talk to you guys on Wednesday.